So today was just another day of cleaning for me, but I don't want to bore you with that. So I decided instead I'm going to talk about my experience with alcohol. Now, I pretty much grew up around it, as a kid, family and whatnot all drank, we had parties and whatnot, but I think that was a lot more common back then. I still think it's pretty common today, but I think even it was actually statistically more people drink than now. So yeah, I wasn't very interested in drinking. I didn't party in high school. I played video games, hung out with my friends, made movies with my friends, and watched movies and TV. So I was more of a geek, I guess you could say. And my first experience with alcohol probably was my sophomore year. I think my friend had some Budweiser and was like, "You want to try this?" And I took a sip and I was like, that's awful. Like, with how bad it was, I had no interest and I didn't want to be drunk anyways. So after that, I'd say about a year later, junior year, my friend gave me some peach schnapps, and I actually did like that, and I did drink that, but I don't think I got drunk. I think I just got buzzed. But we actually drank schnapps maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm not sure. We would also mix Dr. Pepper and Black Velvet together in the pop bottle. And, you'd shake it to mix it, and then you could pretty much be discreet with it. We took it into a movie theater once, and I stored one in my locker once, and I'm sure I had one a couple more times. But I still didn't really like beer, and I think the first time I could tolerate it but didn't love it was maybe Miller Lite. We'd buy, 24 packs and drive out into the woods. But again, still don't think I was getting drunk quite yet at this point. I'd say I just was getting buzzed, and I tried vodka too in high school, and I was like, bleh. So yeah, I drank, but I didn't love drinking. So my first time getting drunk, I was actually in college. It was my first week of college. I just moved to Denver, and it might have been my first weekend there. And me and my 2 buddies, we all got a bottle of Grey Goose, and I mixed it with Sunny D, and I drank my whole bottle plus some of my other buddies, and that's the first time I ever got drunk, I think. Before that, it was just buzz, but this was messed up. And yeah, I actually blacked out and watched Clerks. So that was my first experience with it. And even then, I still didn't love getting drunk. I would drink, but my friend would drink Captain Morgan. I hated it. Beer was still meh. Didn't really care for it. So yeah, when I was 19, I was still just not really into getting drunk. But it wasn't until a couple years later when I turned 21 when things changed. And I actually didn't even drink on my 21st birthday, but it was around this time that I was depressed. And I think I might have started drinking vodka or something with another friend. And then basically after that, my other buddy who I lived with showed me Blue Moon, and I liked Blue Moon. And from there it was off to the races. Then we got into craft beer, specifically Odell, because there wasn't a ton of brew companies back then. It was still kind of new, and Odell was local. So yeah, then I really started to like beer, and I could even drink bad beer at that point too, to a certain extent, and so yeah, then I just slowly descended into becoming an alcoholic. I didn't drink every day, but I drank half of them. So I pretty much drank for 7 to 8 years straight. Not every day, like I said. It was 4 days a week, basically. And I mostly drank beer. That was my favorite, but I would drink anything. I drank vodka and other shots, margaritas, and eventually I drank wine too because I went to Italy. So yeah, I mostly drank because, I think I liked the taste of beer at some point, which is ironic because I hated it at first. And then I also drank because I thought it would make me better at socializing, which it didn't. Instead, I was just socially awkward and drunk. So yeah, and then I also drank because, like I said earlier, I suffered from depression. So I don't know why I thought that would help. And I think you think you're drowning it out, but you're not. It's just prolonging the duration that you're going to be in it for. So Yeah. The first time I quit drinking, though, was basically because I wanted to go to Costa Rica and I needed to save some money. And I calculated how much my alcohol expenses were, 4 days a week plus buying for friends and going out on weekends. Not every weekend, but, even just going out to the bar with buddies or just like a brewery with buddies, having a couple. It all adds up. So I did quit for like maybe 4 months. I worked out and quit drinking and everything. And then I went to Costa Rica. And then that kind of put the idea in my head after that. And the New Year's after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit alcohol again. This time I'm going to go a year. And I did. Now, at this time, I could barely go a week. Like, I would freak out if I didn't have alcohol. And it worried me, like, it was literally like, oh, I don't know if I can live without it. So it was kind of crazy that once I quit 2 to 3 months in, I was like, man, I dig this. Like, I liked it way more than I expected. And I didn't miss the hangovers. I liked all the free time I got from it and everything. So then I made it the whole year and just kept going. So I guess my point is I was a guy who was afraid to quit, who actually really enjoyed not drinking. And now I don't know if I'll ever return to it, but I'm not going to never say never, but I don't feel the desire to. I don't need to. Like, I actually enjoy life. I kind of enjoy being here, I am trying to appreciate the moment, though, because I do realize, like, right now actually is the best time ever. Like, when I'm older, things are just going to be different, So, and I really like today. So I don't need to drink anymore. But it's also kind of ironic because I was depressed all those years, and it's weird that right when I quit drinking, seriously, like, within 2 years, I realized I was happier. I didn't have the depression that I had. So it's crazy how it lined up. I'm not saying that quitting drinking took away the depression, but it's just crazy how much it lines up. So it must have done something, right? So if you're thinking about quitting, just give it a shot, go a couple months. And if you go a couple months and you're like, man, I have to have my alcohol, then maybe you gotta have your alcohol. Like, I don't hate it. I really don't care. If you drink, it doesn't bother me at all. I understand. I know what it was about. So, yeah, but if you try it for a couple months, you'll realize, like, do you want it or not? And sometimes it's good to just answer that question.